Good morning. Today we are doing the second chapter, The Thief's Story. Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond is simple plot with layers of subtle human emotion. This story is one of his well-known stories. In this, the writer shows how the reformation of a thief is best achieved through love and understanding rather than punishment. Now, before we move on with the story, we should know about the author Ruskin Bond. You will get to know more through the clips. Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of the British descent. British descent means originally from British. He lives with his adopted family in Landor in Missouri, India. The Indian Council for the Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children literature in India. He got the Sahitya Academy Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dhera for his published work in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri Award in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. In this story, there are only two main characters, that is Anil and Hari Singh. So let us know first about the character before we move on with the story. Hari Singh. Hari Singh is a small-time thief. His real name is not Hari Singh. He keeps on changing name to escape from police. His modus operandi is that he earns the trust of people and then robs them and flees. Flees means he run away. When he sees Anil, he thinks of robbing him and hence approaches him and asks for work. Anil. Anil is a kind, simple and easy-going young man. He is tall and lean stature and has interest in sports like wrestling. He is not very rich and cannot afford to employ has a cook. He has the patience and goodness to not only teach had to cook but also to read, write and add numbers. Let us go through the story.
Let's see what happens in The Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond. Hari Singh was a thief. He was merely 15 years old but was quite good for his age. In fact, Hari Singh wasn't even his real name. He used a different name every month to avoid getting caught. The first time Hari met Anil was at a wrestling match. Anil looked like the perfect mark, simple, kind, and easygoing. Hari approached Anil and complimented him on his looks. He told Anil he wanted to work for him. Anil replied that he couldn't pay him. So, Hari said that he would work for food and even lied that he could cook. So Anil agreed and took him in. That night, Hari made dinner. It was so bad that Anil gave it to some stray dogs and told Hari to leave. However, Hari just stood and kept smiling at Anil. Anil relented. He let Hari stay and taught him how to cook. He also taught Hari how to write his name and promised that one day Hari would learn how to write whole sentences and add numbers. Hari was glad. With some education, he could be better at what he did. Hari found it easy to work for Anil. Every day, he would make tea in the morning. Then he would go to the market to buy supplies. He always made a rupee's profit every time. Hari also learned quite a bit about Anil. Anil was a writer and did not make steady income. When he did, he would go out and celebrate. When he didn't, he would borrow and worry about his next paycheck. One day, Anil came home flush with several banknotes. He had just sold a book to a publisher. He safely hid the money under his mattress. It had been some time since Hari stole from someone. He made up his mind to steal the money. That night, he crept up to Anil's bed and carefully extracted the money. Then he ran. He ran until he came to a bazaar by the station. There he slowed down and counted the money. There were 600 rupees in the bundle. Hari thought he would live like a king for the next week or two. Thinking this, he came to the station. The Lucknow Express was just leaving the platform. If he ran, he could easily jump into one of the compartments. But something stopped him. Hari stood still and watched as the train left. He was alone now and had nowhere to go. He thought about Anil and how his house was the one place he could go back to. So, having nowhere to go, Hari started walking aimlessly and came to a Maidan. There he sat on a bench, thinking about Anil's reaction. Anil, he knew, would feel sad, not at the loss of money, but at the loss of trust. It started to rain. Soaked, Hari made his way back to the bazaar. He took out the notes. Then he thought about his time at Anil's. He remembered that Anil had promised to teach him to write whole sentences. One day he thought knowing whole sentences would bring him even more than thieving could. After all, stealing was easy, but becoming a clever and well-respected man, that was better. So Hari went back to Anil and put the money back under the mattress. Next day when he woke up, Anil was already making tea. Anil gave him a 50-rupee note as part of his wages. Then he declared that they were going to learn whole sentences. Hari realized that Anil knew what had happened, but Anil didn't say anything. Moved, Hari gave Anil a smile, a genuine heartfelt smile.
Let us summarize the entire lesson. The narrator, who is the thief, meet Anil, a simple, kind and a struggling writer. The thief earns Anil's trust and becomes friend with him, eventually landing up to his home as a cook. Narrator intentionally, obviously, is to rob Anil and flee. However, he cannot cook. So Anil teaches him to cook, write, feed him as well as though he is not paid a salary. As saying goes, old habits die hard. The thief makes small profit by cheating Anil on shopping for a daily supply for him. One night, the thief finally decides to rob Anil's money and escape, although he is successful in stealing the money. But his conscience somewhere pricks him and he feels guilty that he is breaking the trust of Anil. He returns back home and keeps the money back to its same place. Now that money is become dump due to rain. The next morning, Anil pays the money to the thief and promises him that he will pay him regularly. Along with the thief, we are moved by Anil's kind and compassionate gesture of not getting the thief arrested, although he has a hint of the event of the previous night. The story successfully established the fact that love, compassion, and kindness have the potency to turn the thief around and reform him. I am putting up some of the clips of words with its meaning kindly noted down in your textbook. Let us do some exercise. I am putting up the passage for you all. I expect everybody to read the passage and do the activity. Thank you. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe.